Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a movie review. In this one, we're going to be talking about 2012's American Mary. Yeah, this one I should have talked about a long time ago. Of course, obviously, it came out 3 years ago, and it's a film by the Soska sisters. And it was really, their breakout film. They had done Dead Hooker in a Trunk before this. I don't believe they had one, in between. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, so this was their second film they ever, really worked on. And they were actually, developing the script, or writing this while they were trying to sell Dead Hooker in a Trunk to various, studios and companies and stuff like that. So a lot of the people that end up being, really corrupt and kind of just, lesser people in this movie are I guess supposed to mirror some of the people they've actually met in the film industry, which is kind of funny. I hope not to that extreme, but you never know. And apparently they also specifically wrote the Mary Mason role for Katharine Isabelle to play. And yes, this film does star Katharine Isabelle, who is probably still my favorite actress at this point. I've loved her in Ginger Snaps, Turning Page, Show Me, just 88, just everything she's ever done I've really loved her in. She was in Being Human, she's in Supernatural, which I'm catching up on now. And she really, Katharine Isabelle's performance and just the way the Mary Mason character is written in this movie, I think is really what makes it. Now, again, I apologize for the delay on me actually doing a video on this, but I seen it years ago, and I bought it a couple years ago, too. I actually got it as a Christmas present, so that's cool. Obviously makes a perfect gift for the holiday season. But, I'll be honest, I was really divided when I first seen this movie. Which is why I watched it a few more times afterwards, because, there's a lot of things going on with this movie. It's bizarre, it's brutal, it's intriguing, it's, very strangely enthralling. But really, so I watched it again last night with my girlfriend, to get a refresher on it, so I could give, really my, current concrete thoughts on the movie. I was just curious to see how I'd feel about it, seeing it again. And, part of me, really likes it, and part of me kind of, I don't know about it. But really, after watching it last night with my girlfriend, and after thinking about it again, I think I actually do like it. This is just, a very unique movie. And, it definitely stands out in my collection. There's nothing exactly like it that I know of, really. And, just the way, the Soskas do a great job in this movie and in the other ones they've done of really pulling you into the world they've created for the film. Just like the music they chose to use, the calmer, strangely soothing things that they play during Mary's various, surgeries and stuff. Just that along with them just somehow creating this atmosphere and tone that really just pulls you in and makes you want to stay there, whether you want to look up what's happening on the screen or not. So they do a really good job of that. They also have cameos in this movie as two people that want to basically get joined together. Even they have their arms switched and stuff like that. They have these weird accents, which is kind of funny. And, also, this film, it's considered a horror movie by most people, but the Soskas themselves have said they don't really consider it a horror movie. And I don't really consider it a horror movie so much. I mean, there are elements where the character's kind of going down that path, but it never really fully goes into that. I'd say it's more like a thriller, drama type of thing. But, now, if a sequel had happened, I could see how it would have become more of a horror movie. But just the way it developed, I don't think it was quite a horror movie. Yeah, it was more of a thriller, like I said. But don't get me wrong, there are elements of a very good horror movie in this, and that really has to do with, the Mary Mason character again. And the basic story to this is that, Katharine Isabelle, of course, plays Mary Mason. She's a struggling med student, and she ends up, she's, like, has a very low income, is not making very much money, hardly able to sustain an apartment and things like that. So she, looks into this body modification thing. It's like some of the underground stuff, and if it's illegal, she's getting involved with some people that, it's kind of a little bit more shifty like that, like Antonio Cupo's character, and at the same time, she is trying to advance further, and with the medical stuff she's working on. She is really an up-and-comer. She's like a really bright student if it wasn't for her financial struggles. And unfortunately, at a party, let Dr. Grant and a couple other of her colleagues and mentors invite her to. She is raped by Dr. Grant, so this also turns into like a revenge type of film as well. And once that happens, the Mary Mason character just really flips the switch. Just the way she would talk to people in the first half of the movie compared to the way she would talk to people in the second half was something that my girlfriend noticed that Katharine Isabelle did really well. She seems a little bit more chipper and sort of like optimistic and hopeful in the first half, but then once Dr. Grant does what he does, she just becomes really cold and sort of more removed and just sort of like just becomes a whole different person. That Bloody Mary persona that Beatrice had made up online, for the body modification community, because she eventually becomes sort of like a celebrity to them, and she starts getting all these customers, making money. Oh yeah, and Beatrice is also played by Tristan Risk, another friend of the Soskas. And she has a pretty funny role in this one too. And I like the line, and she just started being a little bitch to everybody. When she's talking about the younger girl she's with and stuff like that. I thought that was funny. And, it's just a lot to explain about the plot, and she eventually ends up, getting a hold of, Dr. Grant with Antonio Cupo's help, and she just ends up just torturing the hell out of the guy, and really it's brutal, but, you can't say he doesn't deserve it after what he did to her earlier. And my girlfriend was comparing it to Saw, how they torture the victims or hang them from ceilings and stuff like that. Except she herself pointed out that, well, this movie isn't nearly as like bloody or gory or anything. It's a lot more psychological, and really the not showing can sometimes be more effective. And my girlfriend, being as big of a fan of the Saw series as she is, she actually feels like what they did with American Mary and how she tortured Dr. Grant was more effective than the vast majority of what they did in Saw to mess with the victims. So that's a good compliment there. I've still never gotten into the Saw movies. I still don't really care to, honestly. But I might have to watch those with my girlfriend sometime to please her. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then, she just gets more and more enamored and, just pulled into that world she's in. She ends up being, like, feared by Antonio Cupo's character. And, she ends up feeling like she's kind of the boss of them, because they're all so afraid of her. And it's the thing she's willing to do and the surgeries and the body mods and stuff like that. And something else that's cool about this is that the people that they had, with these strange body modifications, they are either actual people with those body modifications or they use strictly practical effects, which I think is really, really cool. And, one of my personal favorite scenes in the movie is where she catches this hooker, stripper, this employee Antonio Cupo's character has. Of course she's giving him a blowjob, and then Mary walks in on it, and yeah, she's pissed about it when she probably didn't think she would be. But then she just ends up, just calmly walking into the bathroom. This red lighting's, it's really, really cool. And, she just slowly laying out her tools as the girl's trying to hide in the stall, around the mirror and stuff like that. And then when she gets her gloves on, she just, like, slowly walks, towards the opening. And just light flashes. She just looks so menacing. I absolutely loved it. So Katharine Isabelle did such a great job just showing the transformation of the Mary Mason character. My favorite part about the movie, for sure. And further proof as to why she's my favorite actress currently out there. So I absolutely love Katharine Isabelle, and this is definitely one of her more definitive roles. So, yeah. And, there's a ton of scenes I could go in detail about. And, as far as, like, the whole body mods go and, like, their surgery she performs, they don't show too much of it, except really for the first one. But, my girlfriend's a little bit easily grossed out by that stuff, but none of it's, like, too graphic, really. It's really just more bizarre than anything. In a way, maybe I would prefer to see a little bit more blood in this movie, but really, didn't really hurt it either way, I don't think. I said Katharine Isabelle did a good job, and she definitely deserved the Best Actress award she got at the Screamfest. As far as the rest of the acting goes, it's all okay, it's all decent. No one really comes close to outshining Katharine Isabelle, of course, but everyone else does their job fine. They do, they do all right. And the first operation she really does, for Beatrice's friend Ruby. Ruby ends up wanting to look like literally a Barbie doll, and Mary is able to successfully do that. But what ends up happening with that ends up coming to bite Mary in the ass at the end of the movie, I guess. Because Ruby has a lot of boyfriends, but she has this one husband, and we see a brief scene of her husband seeing her Barbie doll-like body, and he appears to be pretty pissed off about it. And what he ends up doing is, he beats Beatrice basically near death, and then he ends up coming for Mary Mason at the end, who's had a detective sort of like snooping around her and stuff like that, who she debated killing earlier, but he appeared to be more sympathetic with her, so she spared him at that point. But what the husband of Ruby ends up doing is he ends up trying to come into Mary's apartment and kill her. He stabs Mary, but Mary's able to kill him in a very cool way, by the way. Mary's able to crawl and stitch her wound up, but she bleeds out and ends up dying anyway. And when the detective finds her at the end, she has sort of this slight smirk of satisfaction on her face. And that's the ending. And how do I feel about the ending? I'm sort of divided on it. In a way, I understand it, but at the same time, I feel like it was sort of an anti-climax. That's the one really major gripe I have with this movie. I don't think the ending was very satisfying, if I'm being completely honest. Just with the character that came to kill Mary and being the one to actually kill Mary, I felt like it was a little bit out of left field. Like, this character is mentioned a couple times and shown about once before the scene. And so for him to all of a sudden pop up at the end and be the one to kill our lead character, I just felt like that was kind of... I just didn't really feel much from that because we had hardly seen the character. And I didn't feel like he was that important to actually do that. So I felt like, I don't know, it shouldn't have been from him. I don't know who should have killed her. Antonio Cupo's character? No, I don't think so. Because he ended up being basically obsessed with Mary and wanting to leave town with her and stuff like that. But I don't think he would have been able to do that either. So I kind of felt rushed. I seen some critics kind of criticize the ending as being rushed. It kind of felt like that to me too, if I'm being honest. It's kind of felt like thrown together. There should have been like one or two more scenes with this guy if he was going to be able to pull this off. But I would have preferred, while the Soskas, talked about alternate endings or like other endings they had thought about, that include Mary like actually surviving after she had stitched herself up. I would have preferred that. I would prefer to get a sequel to really expand on who Mary has become, and go more and more into that horror aspect of the character. I think that would have been a great choice. Personally, I would have preferred that. The Soska's worried about, a sequel like diluting the first one. I don't think it would have. I just think it would have been more badass in the sequel. But that's just me, it's their project, and, they can choose how they want to end it, But to me, it kind of felt like an anti-climax and sort of this, like, a letdown for the Mary Mason's character story. It just kind of felt like, oh my god, this is getting really cool, and, wait, what? I felt like the Mary character deserved a different, a different way of going all on with that, I saw the character deserved a little bit more than that ending. But, overall, I still do like this movie. I won't say it's my favorite Katharine Isabelle movie overall, but I will say it's one of the more notable roles she's ever done. Definitely a very unique character, a very well-written character. I really like the transformation of her. Would have loved to see even more of her monster that she's becoming in the sequel, but for what it is, it's good. It's bizarre. My girlfriend's mind is racing in about 1,000 different directions when we finished watching this. I think she liked it. I think she didn't. I don't know. But, yeah, overall I did like it. Katharine Isabelle's great in the movie. The Soskas really have a way of filming and directing. They did a great job of that. And, yeah, really unique concept, really unique story, character. Yeah, so I definitely recommend checking this one out. And, yeah, so I'll catch you guys later. I'll probably do a video talking about Jeffrey Dean Morgan being cast as Negan on The Walking Dead. Good casting, by the way, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So, yeah, follow me on, add me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, Movie Pilot, and look for untitled.com. Catch you guys next time, and, peace.